today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Very good. We'd like to see your e-portfolio and talk us through it. Can you share screens?
Yep. So
That's
this
good. Good to see it big.
Yep. Do you want me to just like talk through what each piece is?
Yeah,
Yes.
what's the project about? What did you do for this project?
This was for home, for fine art, and so I went through a series of phases. This was the first sort of stage of my ideas for the fine art project. So that's a building from my hometown, which I clicked with home and what home meant to me, and then I slowly started to become more loose with
Where are you living at the moment, Emily?
I'm living at the moment, just 2 hours away from my hometown, but I was at this stage living on the Isle of Man. So.
And what's the name of your hometown?
Traralgon.
And is that in Australia?
Yeah, in Australia. Yeah.
So that's where you are now?
Yes, yeah.
I see. Okay. It's an interesting building. What is it? A civic building of some kind?
It's the old post office. Well, it's the post office now. It's the old courthouse.
I see. It looks like that. You know, you've made it look like some kind of official building, and I really like the way you've handled the paint on that. Very loose, and the sky. Yeah. You know, the background. It makes it look monumental because of that dark background.
Yeah,
it's quite good. It's quite nicely painted.
Thank you.
What about the next one?
The next one is sort of symbolizing me and my brother, how we're separate but still together. And this is sort of, he lives in the outback of New South Wales in Australia. So I tried to incorporate kind of what that looks like in my head, but very loosely because.
So are these based on memories, or they're based on photographs, or?
Memories.
Memories. Okay, that's nice.
What I like about that is the way that there's two figures on the right, but you kind of rubbed out probably yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
So there's only your little feet showing. I think that's very sort of poignant. You know, it's quite poetic what you've done, and then there's only part of you in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Left, I mean, bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really nice. I like the faded, looks like a little rabbit or something faded out, like memories are. You know, you just remember fragments of memories, really, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do with the smudging, just kind of make it look like it was swirling around and, you know.
Yeah.
Wistful is the word that comes to me in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite sophisticated, that little drawing. Carry on.
The next is the development of another drawing, obviously, for my fine art, and I got this off my brother's dog. My brother's dog kind of like brought us closer together because we both trained him, and it reminded me of home a lot. So this was the original drawing up here.
That's very successful.
Yeah.
And yeah, each one kind of is different and has a different meaning in the eyes and the face. The way this one has the eyes kind of like connected together because of my brother and I connecting over it, and then everything brought together in the end, ripped but still together.
Nice idea. I like the top one, the way the dog's head is just, you know, turned a bit.
cocked
Yeah.
to one side,
Yeah,
and as
cocked
if
to
it's
one
about to
side.
move, isn't it? It's about to, like
Yeah.
he's shaking something off, but
Yeah.
I think you've got real feeling in this work so far. What's the next one?
The next is again these two of
The two of you.
yeah. Oop. So I did this one and I kind of felt like it was empty. Didn't really have anything to add to it. So I put little like lines and small sketches in it. So it's like a wave of thought almost.
What was there a particular artist that inspired you when you did this work?
I don't think so. I kind of just, it was all about letting loose for me and letting my emotions go on the paper rather than trying to get something perfect like I always try and do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what that was about for me. And then the next one was the dog again. And the tree with a like fire coming from it, because obviously Australia has big bushfires.
yeah, you get the heat from that, don't you, in the atmosphere?
They're almost kind of like Sipe Wombly's drawings.
Good, that's good. Anyway, what's next?
My photography is, I think these two were my most successful ones in that. I took these through on the Isle of Man with through a telescope, looking out over my house is somewhere along here. And then my other
Is that your
photo.
still life?
Yeah, my still life.
But also there you've got some portraits, haven't you, that you've drawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think each of those photographs should have been on their own on a page. Maybe a little bit bigger, because they are very successful and they look a bit crowded. But I especially like the one with the telescope and the boat.
I do. That's very atmospheric and very poignant.
It looks like a still from a film, doesn't it?
Yes.
It looks really nice. One of the things that so far with your work, it seems a bit sort of sad, a little bit like you're longing for something. You're in the Isle of Man and you want to be in Australia. Maybe now you're in Australia and miss your brother and sister and your dad, and you want, you'd like to spend time with them. So you've got this kind of dual thing going on. Do you feel that?
I do feel that, and I at the time I don't realize it, but like looking back on it, I do realize, I see how it has affected my work.
And that's actually good, isn't it? It's a good thing.
Get your emotions into your work.
Yeah, but the thing is that you didn't realize, and that's what's important, because if you try and put emotions into your work, it always looks fake. All you have to do is do your work, try your best, and it comes out anyway. You can always tell when someone's kind of making it really overdoing it, because it doesn't look genuine. But this work does, actually. But it's just the way you're presenting it that you really needs attention. You need to center things and, just change the way. But that will come. We will be adding to this as you go along, and we'll be working with you to help you with your presentation. But it's good to see your choices here now.
And don't put photography, just put my world.
Okay, yep.
Because it's quite obvious it's photography, but that it's just my world.
I think also this isn't a course that's about processes, it's about ideas. You know, it's not a technical course, the foundation course, it's about your concepts, and how you actually achieve the results is secondary. What's important is what your idea is, and if you've chosen the right process. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
What's the next one?
And the next one is my final architecture piece that I put together. So I have like the books up here. This is actually like based off the State Library in Melbourne.
Okay. And these are drawings that you did of the ad drawing that you did inside, or?
Yes, this is the ceiling. So when you sit in the main room of the library, obviously, you look up and it's a dome, and that's kind of what it was like based off of, like, well, known for is the dome. So I thought that drawing that would be definitely needed to be done. And then the columns, they're everywhere in the library, but especially at the front of it, they're very a statement, like as soon as you walk up the stairs.
I really like the square at the bottom. It's got quite a sort of brutalist kind of with the sort of cocktail sticks and all the sticks and things, and it's almost got a view through it.
I really like that shadow through it.
I do. It's intriguing.
What is that shadow?
The shadow. This.
In the frame.
That's just, I don't know. That's from my hand, I think. Like.
Now, I know what it is. It's when you took the photograph. Maybe it was making those sticks were making a shadow.
Oh yeah.
On the paper. You can see the stick.
Maybe it was when you were holding up your phone. I don't know. It's really intriguing.
Yeah, this is from my phone, and then that's from the
it's your phone, isn't it? And there's the sticks. Yeah, but it looks really interesting. Like like it's a view through that space. And I agree with Jo. What I would like to see is each of these models that you made separate.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
And the drawing separate, and then put them all together, because I like the pillars. I think that's an ingenious way of doing pillars. Is it polystyrene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've done really well. And that dome that you've made was really well made.
Perfection. It's absolutely constructed like like a true architect.
Yeah.
Beautifully made.
It is.
So long to do so many attempts.
But it's worth it, and good for you to do that, because it really shows skill.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think you've done very well with this whole exploratory stage. I think you've got some excellent work.
I'm proud of it. Very proud.
What's the most important? What do you think you've learned? What's been the most important discovery you made during this exploratory stage?
Definitely, just like not being so harsh on myself and trying to make everything perfect. That's something I struggle with a lot. But like just doing something for the sake of doing it, even if it doesn't end up perfect, it still like develops. Like you still improve off of it, and I think that's the most important thing I've learned from the exploratory stage.
Was the course what you expected it to be?
Yes and no. I didn't realize that I was going to be pushed this much, but I'm so glad that I have been
pushed in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, it's not driven or anything.
No, not at all, but in a positive way.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's very different from normal school, but I love it.
do you think you feel like you've matured with your work, your sort of attitude to your creativity and your...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of the time before I started the course, wouldn't finish a lot of my work because I was so harsh on myself. But now I just am like, just do it, finish it. Even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, you've still finished something and you can be proud of what you've done, even if it's not the perfect thing that you wanted.
Do you think you've learned how to, when you have done that and you finished it, do you think you've learned to reflect on what you've done and appreciate it?
Yeah, I can appreciate my work a lot more now.
Good. Okay, so thank you for showing us your work. That's been really good to see.